Would you agree that everything in life has a cause and effect, right? And we have a lot of control over cause and effect. We may not have all control over cause and effect, but I think we can all agree that effect happens because of cause. Hey girl, welcome back to another episode of Rock That Fitness with Anna Rockstar. Just me and you today, girl. I'm going to be diving into today's episode. We're going to reflect on 2024, like I know a lot of us already have, but then I want to redirect us into 2025 and then beyond 2025 and reflect back on 2025. In other words, we're going to reflect, reframe, and reimagine. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's dive in. So, what I've been doing, and I know that if you've been listening to my episode or watching it now on YouTube, the 2 episodes ago, I talked about getting ready, like planning for the new year, and how for the past several years, I've actually sat down and taken time to plan out my year. And there's a lot to be gained from this. This is very valuable time. If you want something to happen, you can't just wish for it. You need to plan. So rather than coming up with, a lot of people are going to talk about goal setting and how to set goals, and I've done that before, and you can do that. But today, I want to harness the power of reflecting on our wins and celebrate our wins and our challenges and things that we've overcome in 2024. And then I want to talk about reframing our approach to the new year and how we can choose a lot of things. We have a lot of power over things. And then I'm going to discuss reimagining, like looking back on 2025 as though it has already happened. And I have some exciting actionable steps that I hope that you will engage in. I want to invite you to engage in, and it's going to be interactive. So whether you interactively do it here now or whether you do it later, it's going to be some fun homework, and it's going to help you and set you up for your 2025 year. So, like I said, I know that at this time of year, many of us we start looking back at all the things that we've accomplished and what we've learned and what and where we want to go next, right? But like I said, this isn't going to be one of those episodes about rigid goal setting, okay? Because I think, or even creating a bunch of overwhelming resolutions, because we all know what resolutions do. And I'm not saying they can't be good, because I know that you can call them what you want. You can call it a resolution. You can just call it a decision to do something and not look back. But I don't want to go that direction. Um, I was taking some time. One of the things that I like to do is because if you know me at all, I tend to take a lot of pictures, a lot of videos. And so it's easy for me to reflect back on an entire year because I've got it all right here in my handy dandy iPhone, right? I think a lot of us do. I know not everybody is that engaged with taking pictures. And it's funny because I've always been that person to capture every event, everything, pictures. And I'm actually, I'm not going to say, I'm not buying into this idea that if you're always taking pictures and always taking video, that you're not experiencing the moment. I don't believe that. I mean, maybe for some people, but I really do. I experience the moment, and I don't capture every little tiny detail. Sometimes I do choose not to capture it. But it's funny that I've been doing this actually just about for as long as I can remember. And I think probably some of my trauma brain does that to remember because I don't do a very good job of remembering things. And so it's kind of like having a handy dandy extra memory. It's like a hard drive, exterior hard drive. Is that what they call it? Anyway, it's like my own hard drive. So this is one way, or you can look back on your calendars or your planners or whatever's happened for the year to get an idea. But it's really fun. And it's also just kind of surprising. Like, wow, that seemed like so long ago, but it was just last January, you know? So I want to invite you to join me in this simple, like, I just think it's going to be a very powerful process to reflect on your year, your 2024. And as we go through this, I'll share some of my own kind of help you spark some ideas, and also just to share what I've learned and what I've gone through in the past year myself. But I don't want to make this too long. I'm going to do my best to kind of get through this quickly. And then we're going to reframe how we approach this coming year in 2025. Again, like I said, and reimagine what is possible in your future. So let's go ahead. I'm going to guide you through the actionable steps. There's going to be the 3: reflecting, reframing, and reimagining. So I want you to grab your notebook, which, by the way, did you get yourself a journal? Because that was one of the things that I have decided that this coming year that I'm going to do is I'm going to begin journaling again. And saying that is so scary because it's a commitment. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to commit to journaling, but I know it's going to be really helpful and good for me. So I'm making that commitment. So I just actually, before hitting record for this episode, I just ordered a couple of journals so that I can be prepared and get started. So grab yourself a notebook just for now, just for this exercise that we're going to do today. It's going to be so fun. I want you to get a notebook, a journal, some clean paper and pen. And let me tell you what, research proves this scientifically. It is very powerful to take pen to paper and write down your thoughts and write down these things. So don't just think about this stuff. Like, even if you're driving or you're doing something where your hands are not free right now, come back to this and do it. Okay. So, or you can even use the app on your phone. You got notes on your phone. You can do that. So by the end of this episode, you're going to have clarity, you're going to have inspiration, and you're going to have a sense of purpose heading into this new year. So let's do this. So we're going to go into step number 1. Okay. Whoa. We're going to reflect on 2024. And in your mind, I want you to just kind of reflect back or go back to your planner, your notes, your pictures, whatever you have to look back on this past year. And I know, so go look back at this stuff. I want you to reflect on all the amazing things that you did this year. And yes, I said amazing because I know that you have so much to be proud of in this past year. Even if it doesn't feel like it, like at this moment, at first, when you start looking back, you will start realizing it. And in this step we're about to take, I want you to celebrate the wins and what you learned from the challenges, and gain some perspective. And here's how we do it. So ask yourself this question. What you can write this down to: what were your biggest wins this year, both big and small? What were your wins this year? I wrote down mine, a couple. I'm not going to go into all of the details of mine, but a couple of wins that I experienced this year, I feel like I had a lot of personal growth, especially in my business and being an entrepreneur, digital CEO, whatever you want to call it. I do believe that I had some huge breakthroughs and I've learned a lot about myself. I feel like I've definitely grown. So that's a big win for me. Also personal, on a personal note, I feel like this is a win. I don't know if I'm not really taking full on credit for it, but I feel like this was a win. And myself and Country Boy, we took back in my baby Brooke because, well, Brookie had some life circumstances that weren't so great. And so I brought her back home. She lived with us for 4.5 months, where I call it mommy rehab. We kind of rehabbed her back into health, mental health, and physical health. And then now, she's back out into the world again, and she's engaged. But I'm calling this a win because that was a tough time that we went through and learned and grew. And I'm so proud that we made it through and we did it together. So it was a team effort, but that was a big win. And I'm really happy about that. So that's a big win. And a lot of small wins. I accomplished doing another triathlon, even though I had a wonky knee this year. And just a lot of big wins. Like we redid like the guest bedroom, the living room, the dining room. Those are like a lot of wins we did there. A lot of trips that I took this year. I traveled a lot and I grew and learned so much this past year. So those are some big wins. What else? So let's talk about challenges. What challenges did you face and what did you learn from them? Looking back on 2024, what challenges? I'll tell you right off the bat, I know the 2 big challenges that I personally faced. And if you follow me on social media and you've been following me here on the podcast, 2 of my biggest challenges this year have been, 1, my left knee and the injury that I sustained when I fell, and I got that injury in my knee. And when going through all that was a huge challenge because it has all year. It has um, been a challenge where I've had to redo how I do my fitness, and I'm not running like I was. And it just really impacted me. But that was a challenge that I feel like I'm still kind of challenged by, but I've definitely have, I feel like, um, I've overcome it in the sense that it's not dragging me down. I'm not a victim of my left knee. I don't, complain about it. I just have learned to work around it and navigate my health, my fitness, even with my knee that way. And yeah, it is, yeah, there is a meniscus tear in that left knee. It is a what do you call it? Horizontal. It's a horizontal tear, so it's not repairable. Did some injections on that with a hyaluronic acid, but it really hasn't done a whole lot for me to have the functionality that it used to have. But that's been a challenge. The other big challenge this past year, I'm calling it the year 53, as this past year I was 53 most of the year, right? Um, was that finally I was having what I feel like I was experiencing the hormonal shifts, the sex hormone shifts that were impacting me, impacting a lot of things for myself. So that was a challenge that I found a solution for with Merrick Health, which putting a plug in here for Merrick Health. And I'm going to be talking some more about that here in the new year. So if you want to know more about that, go to the show notes. I've got a link in my web pages that will tell you all about it. But anyway, I overcame this huge challenge because I wasn't able, or I wasn't getting the help that I wanted through my personal gynecologist here and the blood work that I wanted to get done, the comprehensive metabolic panel, comprehensive sex hormone panel. And now I am on a fantastic regimen of hormone replacement therapy, testosterone, progesterone. So I'm being very well taken care of, going through Merrick Health online to optimize my health. And that was a big challenge for months. And I am doing so fantastic. I don't have enough great words to to say about Merrick Health. That was fun. So that was a challenge. And of course there's been challenges throughout the year with business, because that's just how it goes. But you know what? I feel like I've handled things pretty darn well. And besides that, like, we've got a fantastic, beautiful membership, a very strong, powerful membership of Rockstar ladies inside of RTF. Shout out Rockstars to you, who are really rocking their fitness and doing amazing things every day, watching the transformations happening. And it is, just very inspiring, very motivating. All right. So I hope you now have been reflecting kind of on the things that you've been challenged with this past year and what you've learned from them. What I've learned is that I can manage my fitness, my health, and I can navigate my fitness without running, which is something I love so much. Yeah, I still think, is there a solution for me to get back to running? I don't know, but when I do run, I actually suffer the consequences the next day. I'm in a lot of pain for a few days. So it's not like I'm getting pain when I'm running. Okay, back to this. Next thing, what habits, what routines or decisions brought you closer to the person that you want to be? Think about that for the past year, 2024. What habits, what routines and decisions brought you closer to the person that you want to be? I think for me, it's been an ongoing great habit to continue my mindful practice. I really do. I'm very intentional to try to get that in every day. I know I miss some days, but I'm very intentional. And I can say that one habit routine in my life every day is definitely getting me closer to the person that I want to be, just improving myself. So think on that. Let's see here. Now, don't overthink this, okay? Because these things don't have to be massive accomplishments. Maybe you stayed consistent with your workout routine for the first time. Maybe you stayed consistent with your nutrition. Maybe you finally learned how to prioritize yourself. A lot of women are not doing that. And you have learned how to set boundaries for yourself, right? That gave you some peace of mind. That's huge, right? I've got an episode on boundaries. You might want to listen to that. I think it's a great episode. Or maybe you simply just showed up for yourself in some small ways, like you're starting to drink water more, you're getting more water, getting more steps every day. Maybe you finally are getting plenty or optimal sleep. So this doesn't have to be huge, but reflect on this past year and how you have, accomplished some things. It doesn't have to be big, okay? And if you're kind of struggling to remember, like I said, go back, and if you collect pictures and videos, go back in your phone and check it out, or go look at your calendar. Go check your calendar, go look at your journal. Find ways to remind yourself of, go reflect back on 2024 to answer these questions about what were your big wins? What did you accomplish? What did you face? What were your challenges? What habits and routine? Just go look back, okay? You're going to love that you look back at this, because I think too many times when we don't look back at everything that we have accomplished, we forget and we feel like we haven't made any progress. But girl, I know you're amazing and I know you have. So please go take some time for yourself and do this. And then take some time, take a few minutes and just jot those things down for you. Take the pen and paper, write it down in your notebook. And this isn't about being perfect. This is about just creating this as long of a list as you can of all the things that you did, you accomplished, you learned, you grew. And that's just a beautiful thing. It's about really connecting with your life journey, and realizing how far you've come. All right, let's go. Step 2, we're going to reframe entering into 2025. You're going to choose, calling this like a life theme. So last year and the year before, I think what we do in Rock That Fitness, what I love to do myself, is what is a word that I can kind of cling to for the year. Like 2 years ago, the word was believe. I used the word believe. And that was a great word for me. Last year, my word was give. And I did go back to that word over and over and over throughout the year. And I feel like I don't think I did myself very good. Looking back on that word, I don't know that that word really served me very well, because I tend to give just sort of naturally. So it wasn't a very good challenge for me. And I'm not even like trying to boast about that or anything like that. I needed something more. So this year I'm going to do something different, and I want to invite you to do the same thing. You can choose a word for this year if you want to. Highly encourage it. I think it's very helpful. Make sure, I want to make this very clear. If you choose a word that is like a verb, something in action, something that you have to do. Okay. Don't just choose something like, oh gosh, what, pride, or I don't know. Like, don't just choose some kind of like an adjective, like use a word, an action word. So anyway, choose a word. I don't know. I'm just drawing a blank right now on words, you know. Um, yeah, I'm kind of drawing a blank right now. But well, here's what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to do a life theme, which can be a couple of words. So when I was kind of thinking on a word for this year, I had a couple of words. So instead of just like I picking one of those, I decided for me, my word's going to be um, it's going to be commit with courage. That's going to be my commit with courage is going to be my life theme for 2025. Oh my gosh, that sounds kind of scary, right? See, I need the challenge. It's going to be commit with courage. So commit is like, that's the action word, right? With courage, that's the adjective. So I want to invite you to do this with me. Either choose a word of the year that's a verb and action word, or choose a life theme. So now that you've reflected on 2024, let's talk about how you can approach your 2025 with intention. So like I said, we're not going to be doing a bunch of rigid goals that could feel restrictive or overwhelming. Just think about a life theme or word for the year. So a life theme or word phrase that serves you and serves your guiding principles for yourself. And this can be in all areas of your life. I think it can definitely apply to all areas: your family, your relationships, your work, your health, your fitness, personal growth. And it can be your guiding principle for 2025. So a lens like that you could see through, like that you could make your decisions through and approach your daily life with. It can be, something it's flexible, it's empowering, and it's deeply personal. So I know for me, my theme, my life theme for 2025, commit with courage. For some reason, that's speaking to me on a challenging level, and I know it's going to help me level up in a lot of ways. And I'm going to use that as my own personal guiding principle for the year. So think about this. What do you want your life to feel like in 2025? What qualities, what values do you want to embody? So just think about these kind of things as you're trying to come up with what's going to be speaking to your heart and mind personally for 2025. What word, what phrase captures your vision for the year ahead? Think on that. Okay. And write these things down. Maybe you just want to brainstorm them and then look at that and see what stands out to you. You know, some examples like strong and steady, like steady with strength, or I don't know, because maybe you want to stay consistent and build strength physically, mentally, emotionally. Or maybe it's like growing with grace because you want to navigate changes and you want to approach them with self-compassion. Yes, right. We definitely want that. We need that. We all need it. It could even be something like simple, like with joy, like, just, you can do this, right? Health first. No, that's not a verb. um, hmm, moving with strength. Yeah, you come up with yours. And rock stars, if you're hearing this, I am looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with inside of Rock That Fitness. So once you've chosen your life theme, write it down somewhere on your notebook so you can see. You can go back to this often, or maybe put it on some sticky notes somewhere on a mirror. Great idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put that on my mirror. And so when life gets busy, when you feel like it's kind of stressful, this will remind you of what matters most to help you stay aligned in your intentions throughout the year of 2025. You can just reflect back on that. And I do this. I have every year I put something on my mirror that I can reflect back on, look at, and it brings me back to my guiding purpose for the year. So I hope that helps. Once you write it down, put it somewhere where it's going to remind you. Okay, now let's go into step number 3, reimagine 2025. This one's kind of fun, and I've done this before, but I'm going to do it in a different way, where we're going to reimagine like that 2025 has already happened. So this is going to take some time because you're going to want to think through. And by the way, as a side note, that doesn't mean that I want you to know that I'm still going to be planning things for the year so that they happen. And so I know I said in the beginning, we're not going to be talking about goals and planning, but I want you to take some time to do that, because once you do that, then you can do this step 3, which is reimagine. And you're going to reimagine it vividly with a vision. So actually, let me just take a step back here for a second. Like when I look back at my goals, not my goals, my planning for 2024, I can look back and I actually have the things that I wanted to accomplish or attain in 2024. Everything that I had, like, there were personal things, there were family relationship things. There were trips that I wanted to take. There were things having to do with business that I wanted to accomplish and do. There were my own personal fitness and my own personal goals for my fitness and events that I wanted to do. So all of those things I had already put those down and planned those out for the year. So now looking back, it's really cool because I like check marked everything that I did. I'm like, yeah, I got that. Yeah, I did that. Or then like I didn't. I'm like, oh, I did not get to do that this year, or I didn't do as many of those events as I wanted to. Good. Now I can, maybe do that next year. So plan for your year. So that way, plan it out and then do this step 3. Step 3 is going to be reimagining 2024. What you're going to do in this, and this might make you feel uncomfortable, but nothing happens in this comfort zone. So we got to push ourselves out of that, right? Same here. I'm not telling you or asking you or inviting you to do something that I wouldn't, do myself. Okay. And I'm doing this myself. All right. So we're going to tap into the power of visualization and we're going to dream big. And I want you to write a letter from your future self at the end of 2025. So I want you to imagine that it's December 2025, like 1 year from now. All right. And you're sitting down and you're looking back on an incredible year and you're feeling so proud of how far you've come, what does that version of you want to say to the person you are today in the future? Okay. So this is how you're going to do this. You're going to write this letter from your future self to your current self. You're going to start with something like, "Dear me," or you can put your name in there. "Wow, what a year it's been. I am so proud of you for everything you've accomplished," but then get specific about what those were. This year, and here's your prompt. This year, like in 2025, you did these things. Put that down. Fill in those blanks. What did you achieve? How did you grow? How did you take care of yourself, your health, your fitness, your happiness, your mental health? What challenges did you overcome? Write this letter to yourself. How did you handle those challenges? And this letter isn't just about dreaming big, which we ought to, and I want to encourage you to do that, okay? It's about creating a vision for your life that feels exciting and motivating. So if it's just something mediocre, like we talked about this in one of the last episodes, if it's something realistic, that's not exciting. That's not going to be motivating and exciting. You better be dreaming big, big. Because it's not about attaining, it's not the attainment of those goals. It's the fuel, right? That's going to drive you through the year. So, like I say, it's not about dreaming big. It's about creating a vision for your life that feels exciting and motivating. And here's the best part. When you know where you want to go, it's so much easier to figure out the steps to get there, just like your GPS. When you get in your car and you're going to go somewhere you've never been, you need two things. You need to know where you are, and then you need to know where you're going. And then you have a map. You've got directions. But if we just take off on the road and we don't have a destination, we're going to be aimless. We're not going to get to anywhere. So, if that's you and this whole past year you went through 2024 and you feel like you really didn't accomplish anything, because maybe that's what you need to learn. I don't know. I don't know. But if that's you, remove any judgment or self-criticism and just say, "Okay, I see what's going on. I didn't pay attention to where I was and where I wanted to be, and have a plan, have a map." So you learn, and that might be what you're going to reflect on and grow from, right? So thinking through 2025, you're going to write this letter to yourself this way. And I want you to get specific, and I want you to be really good to yourself. Think, dream big, give yourself lots of compliments, encouragement, praise yourself, girl, for all of just who you were, how you navigated life for 2025, all that stuff. It's got to feel amazing, exciting, and motivating. So if it doesn't, come on, let's make it that way. So once you've written this letter, I want you to keep it somewhere safe. Put it somewhere where you know where it is, and go and revisit it throughout the year whenever you need a boost, whenever you need some inspiration or a reminder of why you started something, whatever. It could be your health and fitness goals. This could be like dream big, like for your health and your fitness. This could be the letter, like, "Dear me, great job. I'm so proud of you for being consistent and not allowing the challenges that you went through this year to get in your way of still showing up. Even if you showed up to just do part of your training, you still showed up. You weren't perfect, but you still showed up all year. I'm so proud of you." That kind of thing. Okay. And you're going to go back and read this letter frequently throughout 2025 to remind you, right? And you're going to write this letter saying things like, "And you didn't do this, and great job, all this stuff, and wow, look how far you've come." And then write those things that you want, like, you are so consistent in the gym. You have built muscle. Look at the pictures, look at your progress pictures. You have definitely, shed the fat, and you're stronger. You have more definition. You've lost inches. You're getting to wear clothes that you love. Like, dream big, girl. Do that for you. All right. So that's basically what I'm bringing to the episode for you today. I hope this is inspiring for you. I hope it's something that helps you kind of think differently about the new year and gets you out of this idea that you have to have everything perfect and you have to write out some kind of perfect goal plan. Because I really do believe that when you have a vision of where you want to end up, how you get there is going to happen. Okay. It's what you want, right? And why you want it, because the how will happen when you have that drive. So, um, I hope to hear from you. Um, if you just reflect on your year again, this is what we did today. We did these 3 powerful steps to close out 2024 and step into 2025 with purpose. Whoops, with purpose and intention and power. Reflect on your year by writing these things down, celebrating your wins, your challenges, acknowledging your growth, reframing your approach to 2025. I'm like tweet 2025, choosing that life theme that aligns with your values and intentions. Reimagine your future by writing a letter from your future self, envisioning what's possible for you in the new year ahead. And here's my challenge for you. Pick one of these steps, okay? Pick one of these steps and do it today. That's my challenge. So whether you're jotting it down, your wins, choosing a theme, starting your letter, do one of those today at least, okay? Today. Yes. Do I have your word? You're going to do it? Okay, good. And again, remember, this isn't about being perfect. Just get started. Just do it. It's about progress. You are what you don't know, and I think all of us don't realize is we really are so much more capable of what we realize. So I'm excited to see what you're going to create and accomplish in 2025. So let's make this a year of strength and growth and joy. And before I forget to mention this, and I should have mentioned this in the beginning, if let's see, what's today? Yes, you still have time. So go to the show notes, girl. Maybe you want to, maybe part of your goals and dreams and vision for this year is to join Rock That Fitness membership and make some real transformational changes in your body and your mind and in your life. So if that's you and you want to do that, get on the priority list, girl. There's still time. The deadline is January 5th, but get down there in the show notes, get yourself on the Rock That Fitness membership priority list. There's no obligation, but only those on the priority list are going to get exclusive discounts and get early access to join Rock That Fitness membership and register. So get on that list. And if you have any questions about that, you know where to find me. So thank you so much. Girl, I can't thank you enough. Thank you for spending this whole 2024 year with me, being with me, dedicated, listening to our podcast. It means so, so very much to me. It's been a great year. So I just want to wish you a very, 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 very happy new year, 2025. And, good and bad and all the things, you're going to be amazing in this year. Okay. So claim it. So again, thank you so much for spending this time with me. And if you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone, a friend that might need a little inspiration too. And then until next time, stay strong, stay consistent, and keep on rocking your fitness, girl. I love you. Let's rock.